Good morning and welcome to Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Evolution, as we know, is a continuous process, and there can be no better evidence than the most recent discovery of a new dinosaur, which was a predecessor to dinosaur. And it was done nowhere else but the city I live in, Calgary. I think wherever I go, I'm the catalyst for new knowledge, new discoveries, new pushes, and furthering widening of the frontiers of knowledge. Well, that aside, in the University of Calgary, there is a student, a PhD student, Jared Wallace. And Jared has identified the first new dinosaur species found in Canada for 50 years. We used to say that the dinosaurs were the oldest living species. And then we find that dinosaurs are still older by a few million years old. This new species is 79 million old, at least 79 million old, and the height of this animal or animal human or the predecessor to dinosaur is 26 feet, around 8 meters in height. According to Darla, assistant professor of dinosaur pathology in University of Calgary, they have given the name Tentos. Tentos means the reaper of death, because this dinosaur was an inhabitant of North America for 80 million years back, and it has a long, deep snout, similar to the primitive dinosaurs that lived in southern USA. And not only that, the shape of the skull is identical, but is more compact because of the difference in diet, and the animals available here were less. This discovery, now reported, shows how we have really developed and is a further milestone in our quest for knowledge. But then, is that only thing? No. Imagine mysterious radio signals coming every 16 days on the dot. And the researchers have noticed a pattern. These signals come in bursts, and they come from a single source. And they come from an unknown place. But studying the source, the burst value, the volume and everything, they call it FRBs, fast radio burst. They are the radio waves in space. And do you know how far away from they are coming? 500 million light years from this Earth. 500 million light years. That means almost 100 to 200 times further down from our distance to Sun. The repeat fast radio signals have been known to set out, but they used to be short and erratic radio waves, multiple individual radio bursts, and they never repeated. Now this signal, which is coming from a planet or from an Earth or from anywhere, 500 million years ago, light years, 500 million light years ago from the Earth, the distance is incalculable. And they last for hardly a millisecond, not even a second. Just a millisecond, it comes and goes, comes and goes. It was first observed in September 16, 2018. And then they started tracking it from September 16, 2018 to October 30, 2019. Again, the Canadian Hydrogen Intensity Mapping experiment saw that the pattern was being repeated every 16.35 days. So every 2 weeks almost, and over the course of 4 days, the signal would release a burst to go silent for 12 hours, then again for 2 hours, then again silent for 12 hours. What does that show? That there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamed of in your philosophy. We are not the only intelligent species in the world. There's life, and intelligent life, on other planets, which are billions of light years ago. That means trillions of, hundreds and trillions, hundreds of trillions miles away from the earth are lands where the people are living who have same more advanced capability than we people have. We call ourselves Homo sapiens. Maybe they are a superior kind. Maybe they are just like us. There is no limit to the maybes. But there is a limit to our understanding of that. And that is what makes the whole life interesting. What a brave new world it would be if we could discover them and use them, interact with them, socialize with them. What a word it would be, as would Miranda say in The Tempest of Shakespeare. Oh, brave new world that has such wondrous people in it. And then coming to our own lives, the biggest bugbear nowadays, and I'm not talking of coronavirus, I'm talking of diabetes. Now in the Yale University, they have come up with an excellent, shall I call it invention? Shall I call it a discovery? They have found that in the body there is an on-off switch. You put the switch off, you get diabetes. You put the switch on and there is no diabetes. So it's a potential means to put a brake on type 2 diabetes. And this the researchers have done. You know, they say that our bodies behave differently when we are fasting, when we are asleep. So during this period, either when you are asleep or when you are fasting, two proteins, TET3 and HNF4A, they are activated, and when they are activated, they lift our blood glucose level. So when healthy people stop fasting, this process shuts down. But when the people who are suffering from type 2 diabetes, this process continues. So the Yale team has developed a genetic package that can block these problem proteins. The result is they have identified how fasting can drive the onset of type 2 diabetes and switch that off, and voila, you are okay. And this research has not been done by experienced scientists, it has been done by the students, the medical students, and they have focused on the connection between the body's behavior when it's in a state of fasting, when it's asleep, and development of type 2 diabetes. Interestingly, that these two proteins are switched off, and if they are switched off, the problem starts. So they say this on-off switching fails in diabetes 2, so they want to ensure that the switch keeps on working either with genetic reform or by some medication or some small surgery. And as a matter of fact, they have tried it. They injected these two proteins in mice and the results were very effective. The glucose level, blood levels, effectively stopped the diabetes in its tracks. So there was no further damage. And not only that, they say this is also good for the treatment of fibrosis, the same two proteins, the absence of which causes the diabetes 2, is also responsible for fibrosis. So not only can the diabetes be controlled and help, but even fibrosis can be controlled and treated. And then, we living in Canada at least, or the people living in tundras and Siberia and in Iceland, the biggest problem is heating the houses. And when the heating bill comes, we have a shock. Not only because of the high cost of the bills, but also because of that fear generated by the fossil fuels, pollution, GHG gases, greenhouse gas emissions. And the earth is getting warmer. But you need to keep living at livable, comfortable temperature around the year. So how to do it? How to keep warm without cutting emissions? Can you believe what they have done in Brussels? They are using the sewers to generate heat. And it's a natural heat. The dripping sewers of Brussels, what happens is there are tunnels underneath the sewers. These tunnels are primarily meant for rainwater. But then what they have done is that they have mixed up rainwater along with the sewer drains, then they process it. And these tunnels are made of brick. They are the subterranean water slides. So when the fresh air comes, there's a huge thing. And when they went in, they found that while it was very cold outside, it was pretty warm inside. The temperature was plus 12 to plus 15 degrees Celsius, while outside it was minus 25. So the Belgium dormant heat resource was identified 20 years back, but then no action was taken. But now what they have done is, they have combined sewage system in which rainwater and sewage are drained away together. And this heat which is circulating under the street is reabsorbed from the tunnels and used to heat the homes above, melt the snow on the roads. So how they harness the sewer system is just one way of reducing the carbon footprints. Electric heaters are green only as far as the power source is. And now what they have done is, they have used these tunnels as alternate sources and they have implanted their converters. These converters are thin plastic pipes filled with water that switches back on itself in tight zigzag tunnels, and then they go above ground under the houses. The zigzag is then fixed in the bottom of the sewer tunnel. Tunnel fills with the wastewater, runs over the converter, heating the water sealed in, taking up to 13 degrees Celsius or 14 degrees Celsius, and this warm water travels through the converter up and out of the sewer. And voila! There's no snow on the roads, there's no cold in the homes, comfortable 13, 14 degrees. That's it. Comfortable, enjoyable, conducive to more work. So, The Mother Nature, which was keeping the sewers warm, again comes to the help of human beings. Can there be a further need to worry about the climate change? Nature itself is our best supporter. We just have to utilize the resources given to us by nature and not worry, but devote our times to interact with the species billions of light years away, as I said in the second nugget, and then enjoy life with the best of everything, with the on-off switches, controlling our diseases. Really, it's a wondrous word of knowledge that unfolds us before us every time we know the new discoveries and the new inventions. See you next week again at the same time. Thank you.